Hello and welcome to another episode of One Fall WrestleCast Live. Tom and I got a lot of stuff that we want to discuss with you today. Adam Copeland has made his return to AEW. What does that mean? What does that look like? Was I right in the forecasting that I gave a couple of weeks ago? The Royal Rumble script has leaked. Tom and I are going to discuss the names on that list and, just kind of have some fun with that. Both WWE and AEW were in Orlando yesterday. Tony Khan had some things to say about that. We're going to just dive deep and we'll see what happens. Can't wait to talk about it.
Welcome to the One Fall WrestleCast.
What's up, dude?
Nada. Just got done doing a busyness. Moving stuff around and rearranging things. It's time.
Yeah, it sounds like you had your hands full today.
Yeah, and yesterday. But
Yeah.
it's all right, because now my hands are holding a very deserved beer.
Yeah, I meant to grab one before I came downstairs, but I did not. I did not. So that's okay. Yeah, man. Good weekend, huh?
Good weekend, productive weekend. Feels good. I'm gonna go back to work tomorrow. It's gonna be dead, which is good.
That's always okay.
Yeah, it's retirement at between Christmas and New Year's is like, make sure you process whatever distributions. Just hang out, wait till somebody asks for distribution, answer a couple questions, just, very, very light surface level stuff, which is beautiful.
But that's good. I mean, enjoy a nice. They do say that this is like the vortex of suck at the end of the year in between Christmas and the New Year.
I like it. I like not being busy because then I can finally get at all the projects I started and then had to stop hard at when it became Christmas. So I finally start to focus on that shit, getting guitars restrung, rearranging the house, starting to get rid of stuff, doing a purge. It's like, this is my time of year. And there's nothing to do, man. I'm going to be the best retired dude ever. Like, I'm just going to have projects and shit to do all day, every day.
Well, I mean, that's kind of what the name of the game is whenever you enter retirement. I know my father-in-law, man, he's been retired for some time. Bro, that dude got more things to do in a day, in a 12-hour span than most people that work for a living.
Right.
He just steady stays on it, man. Just always something.
Yeah,
always
my dad's the same way, man. He's just like, dude, he retired and then he immediately became everybody's assistant coach. Like, so whatever season it is, he's helping somebody, and he's there. And then whatever, and then any other time of day, it's like, hey, what do you need help with? What's going on? All right, come over here. Now I'm coming to you. Like, he's everywhere, man. So yeah, good on him and good on that. But
yeah.
This is the pre-retirement time of year. You're like, you get to kind of be retired, semi-retired for like a couple weeks. It's great.
Yeah, I was just coming off of vacation. I'm back to work now, and it's been an adjustment period for the last couple of days, going from normalcy with the family and nothingness into my life as it exists on a day-to-day, real life, real-time basis. So, it is what it is, though.
Yeah, back at it.
Yeah.
I'll be back at it in January real hard. So
yeah. Everybody retiring New Year's resolutions.
My New Year's resolution is to not curse at the screen before like 10 a.m.
Oh, well, good luck with that. I hope it works out.
Set the bar low.
No, I appreciate that. That's good.
It's a low
That's
bar.
good. That's good. Hey, so how much wrestling did you get to watch this week, bub?
A little bit of Dynamite. Did not watch the last Rampage. I did watch I watched Raw and I watched SmackDown. A little bit of NXT. Nothing on Saturday. Is World's End today or was it yesterday?
It was yesterday.
They're doing them on Saturdays now?
I guess. They originally started doing them on Saturdays. And then for whatever reason went away from Saturday and went to Sunday. And when WWE moved to Saturday, when they used to do Sunday. So I don't know what the
Probably just whatever day they can.
What the gap was on that and how they came to that conclusion. But yeah, it was last night. So yeah, I didn't watch it either.
I mean, it would be I got to. I mean, I've watched a good bit of AEW these last few weeks, and I got to admit this card going into this, I was not feeling the excitement for it.
Well, I mean, it felt. I mean, looking at it from that standpoint, it felt pretty predictable, right?
Yeah, and I feel like that was kind of that's sort of the worry with AEW, them going to that monthly pay-per-view schedule, is that, like, you know, they're not going to have as many belts as they have. They're not going to have them change hands on a monthly basis. You know, they like to have their long title reigns and stuff, and
which I don't think there's anything wrong with that either.
No, I don't think there's anything wrong with it either. But I don't think that the weekend post Christmas show was the place for riveting AEW wrestling action. So
yeah, but I mean, maybe they're trying to change the norm on that. What the old school thought processing is, because I mean, year after year we come in here and after Christmas, and you know, really this chatter between us starts after Thanksgiving, right? Where it's like, oh well, we're getting into the ho hum season. You know, wrestling's not really going to do anything, and we as fans kind of expect it. And I mean, WWE did some things, you know, but they also took some time off and taped a few shows and gave talent a chance to go home and be with their family, which is something that they're probably not really used to. WWE definitely still, I believe, entered the holding pattern, but
they for sure did. They for sure did.
I mean, you got to give AEW a little bit of credit for trying to break that mold, right? You know, the show just felt really predictable. I mean, there was a couple of twists and surprises. Kenny Omega's back.
That's good.
I guess that it was all smoke and mirrors, that whole New Japan thing.
Yeah, because he was only there for like a week.
So I don't know, you know, what that's all about, but he's back.
Man, they let Okada beat.
They did
beat Ricochet.
They did,
man. And then Swerve came out and stared at Ricochet. See, that doesn't make sense. I don't know.
Well, I guess they had like a whole thing. Like Prince Nana was like handing out toilet paper
to throw it
when Ricochet was standing in the ring. Like it was like a whole thing.
Oh, they beat Adam Cole too. Look at that.
Yeah, Adam Cole, baby. Well, I mean, the Dynamite Diamond Ring, I at this point is the MJF World Title. I mean, that's the thing that has made him who he is to this day. If you really think about it, he's the only person to ever win it. I don't know that at this point. Well, like, why are we still doing this? Let's just retire the gimmick and just let it be. What's that make him? One for the thumb?
One, yeah, really. At this point, does he keep getting new ones? I think it was the same one.
I imagine they're probably the same one. You know, I mean, it's a television prop. I'm sure there's a couple of them. It's not like Max is actually wearing that in his real life. Although he does have a poorly done AEW tattoo on his leg now. So there's that.
Yeah. It is a poorly done tattoo, is it not? I did think you'd have an opinion on that. It didn't look good to me.
No, I think we talked about it whenever he first came back and debuted it, but like it's that's rough, bud.
It's like, ooh, it looks like he just had a few too many and decided decided on the wrong thing.
Yeah,
In Florida, I don't know that you need to be sober to get a tattoo.
I mean, I don't know that you need to be sober anywhere to get a tattoo as long as you act right. Just
I mean,
saying.
I see your point, but
I mean, and if you're willing to tell a little white lie on a piece of paper, you know what I mean?
yeah, I guess so. That makes sense.
Because you wouldn't know, but you're gonna find out one day soon, I imagine. You have to fill out a questionnaire like, "Hey, do you have high blood pressure?" I mean, I'm 40. Yes.
Sometimes
It depends, but medically, no. So,
Yeah.
you do. Do you have flaking skin parasites? Well, no. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it gives you all these, and one of those is, are you currently under the influence of any drugs and or alcohol?
you have to say no. I guess that makes sense then. Okay.
Just get it done anywhere, bub. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Man, I can't believe they keep beating Ricochet. Like, are you like at this point, his win-loss record, and he looks like a geek every time he comes out there. Maybe there's a long game to this, and maybe this was his idea. But
I mean, I feel like there's long game here because
maybe.
it feels to me like he's building like a whole new persona almost.
Weird Poindexter geek persona.
Yeah,
It's
just Ricochet playing Trevor. That's all.
That's
Instead of Trevor playing Ricochet.
That's true. Yeah, that's a good point. Because I mean, he comes out, he looks like a geek, but that's if you follow him on anything else, that's who he is. So you're right.
So I mean, so does that mean that it's like Ricochetception, where it's Trevor playing Ricochet, who's playing Trevor?
Yes, it's exactly what it is. It's the inception of Ricochet is exactly what it is.
And that's fascinating.
It really is. But honestly,
could you imagine like as a character being a character that's playing yourself?
As the character who's playing
would you just be yourself in that situation?
I don't know. Like that's a real would you? I mean, there are guys who just
somebody get me the spinny top thing. I need to see where I'm at.
Well, there are those guys that just play themselves in every movie. They're the same character.
Like The Rock.
Oh. I don't know if did you watch Red One, you and the fam?
Yeah, dude. I enjoyed it a lot.
I loved it. I thought when it was over, I was like, that was great.
I thought it was great.
Yes, that was.
I mean, we made the mistake. We watched it with we watched it with the boy, and like he was enjoying himself, but it was kind of for 5-year-old, when he just a
little scary. There was a little bit of lore in there with the Krampus stuff, and then
it was dope. It was very well done.
I thought it was great. I was like, wow. Like I guess I went in kind of with low expectations, but like came out of it like that was. I've not watched a new Christmas movie that was that good in a long time.
Yeah. I was actually surprised. I'm not gonna lie. Because I wanted to watch it. Like the trailer looked great. You know what I mean?
J.K. Simmons is good in everything.
It delivered.
It sure did. J.K. Simmons as Santa Claus was like, to me now it's like, so Santa Claus is J.K. Simmons. It's like
Love it.
J. Jonah Jameson is J.K. Simmons. So now also Santa Claus is it's the same.
Love it.
So
Love
good.
it. That dude's good in everything.
Even the farmers commercials.
Especially the farmers commercials. Some of those are real fucking funny. And it's because of him.
Yeah, it's only his delivery of everything is great, believable, pretty funny most of the time. He's got great comedic timing. Like, guy is incredible. And then they stuck him next to The Rock, and The Rock looked clearly like, I'm just not going to talk while he's standing here.
Yeah.
That was a lot of it.
Yeah, but yeah, so I mean Ricochet though, dude, like I like where he's at. I kind of like it. I agree with you though. The win-loss record's not looking great. There's got to be some sort of method to this madness, especially after he said, he's saying a bunch of like slimy shit. He's actually getting a lot of love on the internet. That's disguised as hatred. He's getting a lot of kudos for the work he's doing right now, and I can't say that I disagree.
Well, I hope that it makes sense sooner rather than later.
That part.
Yeah. Because if this is a gimmick, if this is okay, but probably going to need to take a little turn here at some point next month.
I will say that I am super into the possibility of Swerve Strickland and Ricochet.
Yeah, especially if they go against the Hurt Syndicate. And they like team up.
I'm into all of that.
Like that'd be a great feud.
I think that we're gonna see Ricochet and Swerve kind of have some problems here for a little while before any of that happens.
A little bit before they figure out that the enemy of their enemy is their friend.
Yes.
Yeah. It's such a classic wrestling story.
Yeah.
It's right there. We all want to see it. Just do what the people want, Tony. Like that's how AEW is better.
Well, he's still just happy to be here. It seems like I don't.
Not Shivani.
Oh. Oh well, the other one is the other one is certainly.
He's definitely happy to be here. He couldn't be happier, fucker. I was thinking about that the other day because it was because of I suppose what we're getting into now, which may be Rampage. Is that what we want to talk to next?
Sure.
All right. So I thought about it, and I was like, while I was putting stuff away, and I'm like, oh, last Rampage is over, and I thought in my head like, who was commentary on that show? And I'm like, well, it was right after they filmed it right after Dynamite, so it was always Excalibur and Tony Schiavone, and I think it was a 2-man booth. And I'm like, God, good. Any less time on television with Schiavone and Excalibur together is like, let's just take that, like, let's split them up entirely, but also like maybe just take Excalibur off TV because he is fucking awful. So anything with less Excalibur commentary, I'm all for. More Nigel.
Yes.
More Nigel, less Excalibur.
Yes.
In fact, if you want to keep Tony, put Tony on with Nigel because that's fine. Tony is so much better when he's play-by-play.
Yes.
Yes.
All of that.
Yeah. But I'm just I did watch Dynamite this week.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
It was pretty good. I'm over Excalibur. He makes everything less. Like there was a point in time where I was watching it kind of muted because I was like listening and doing something else, and my enjoyment of the show went phew, even without the crowd noise because I didn't hear with those standing suicide tope undercut and Mama Yaga moonsault getting froggy with it. Like, oh my God, shut the fuck up. That's what I figured out about Excalibur is that he never fucking stops. There's 5 men in that booth, and Excalibur is talking 99% of the time because he never fucking stops. Sometimes Schiavone will get in when Excalibur goes to take a breath. Well, I'm just happy to be here. And then Excalibur is back at it for the next 15 minutes straight. Guy has an incredible lung capacity. Don't get me wrong, but motherfucker needs to shut up sometimes. Let the moves breathe. Let everything breathe. Just shut the fuck up. Anyway,
yeah, but I mean, he's not the only one not letting shit breathe. The guys in the ring aren't letting shit breathe either.
Well, them too. So I guess it's both of them because he's got to say every move as it happens, and then like the guys in the ring got to do move into another move, into another move, into a third move. Oh my God, back flips, and we now kick each other in the face, spin around, elbows, sit down. What the fuck did I just watch? Oh, they're both out after that wonderful Cirque du Soleil maneuver. What a maneuver. I do miss that a little bit. What a maneuver. I've been watching a little bit of old wrestling lately with McMahon from like the mid-early 90s with McMahon on commentary. Doesn't name a single move the whole time. Vince McMahon doesn't name a single move. What a maneuver. High risk maneuver. There's no No, like, oh, he hit him with a lariat. Nope, none of that. What a maneuver. But yeah, last Rampage.
Your hatred for Excalibur is like, I think it's got to be probably some of the most impressive on all of the internet.
It might be. I don't think anybody dislikes Excalibur as much as I do. Like, I don't want to see anything real bad happen to him or anything, but man, I wish he'd shut the fuck up.
Because like I don't think that anybody like really ever has a bad thing to say about Excalibur.
Except me.
I don't read much like negative feedback about him. Maybe I'm just not in the right circles of the internet to see.
I mean, you're
this
my
type
friend.
of
So you hear a lot of hate from me.
So maybe that's why that, like, you know, that piece isn't in my algorithm.
Maybe.
So you might want to get that looked at. Yeah,
but I keep trying, and it just keeps coming up. That's not Tommy End. That's not the man I wrestled in Dusseldorf, Germany.
God, dude, what a fucking fumble that was. I mean, that thing was doomed. Knowing what we know now, that thing was doomed from the start. Man.
From Dumbledore, Germany.
What an epic fumble.
Such failure. And there was so much failure after that, too. Remember when they put too much lighter fluid on the table and then Malachi Black missed it, and Cody full on through fire with melted pieces all, and he still got that one scar from it. If you look on his back, here's this, So yeah, that was so doomed. Like it continued to be doomed. Too. Like what a fumble.
Just like Rampage. Rampage was
Rampage.
Doomed from the start.
Exactly. Well, actually, if you remember, CM Punk kicked off the first ever Rampage.
Nope. Lies. Britt Baker kicked off the first ever Rampage. It was in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And Collision was CM Punk's show.
Right. But like CM Punk was also on Rampage for a little bit.
Yeah.
They had him doing stuff because it was like, we got to get people to watch this. We're going to make CM Punk wrestle in it.
Well, that and the guys that were generally on Rampage were the ones that CM Punk approved of.
Yeah.
So they taped Rampage the same day as Collision.
Yeah. But anyway, it was all very, and then it became like a nothing show. Like it was just, it was like a show where it was like, you would look at the card beforehand and you would go,
well, when it was available,
and you would go, oh, these are all cold matches. And these are guys I don't care about at all. So you would just like, why would I watch this show? Because it was meaningless too. You know? It was like, oh,
yeah, maybe. It was like Andrade versus Chooch number 1.
Yeah.
And then it was like Chooch number 2 versus Chooch number 6.
Yeah. Well, it would be like Andrade somebody get a squash match. Maybe there'd be 2 squash matches in an hour. There is some ambulancing going on out there. But yeah, I mean, just so inconsistent, such a terrible time slot too. 10 o'clock on Friday night. Like,
yeah.
Once the pandemic was over, that was
doomed from the start.
Yeah, that was doomed. So, you know, they couldn't put anything worthwhile on it because nobody watched it, and nobody watched it. Then it like was sort of a self-defeating prophecy because they couldn't put anybody on it because there was nobody watching it, but nobody was watching it after that because nobody was on it. So it was the inception of Rampage stupidness. And you know, if you wanted to see a couple of, they always put a couple, you know, flippy luchador guys on there, like go out there and flip around. Luchadors, put your mask on. Nobody cares who you are. Get out there. And just get there, you know, 5-ish minutes to do that. And that was over. And then everybody, yay! And like that brought people around. But how many times can you watch that match on Friday night at 9 o'clock? Or no, it was on at 10. So how many times can you watch that match on Friday night at 10:30? It's tough.
Yeah, I never watch that shit. Never.
It's tough. It's tough.
It just. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't think that the wrestling fan doesn't benefit from this. I think that if anything, they can maybe focus their efforts a little bit more on the Ring of Honor product, which they seem to kind of be doing.
Yeah.
It feels like everything at the end of 2024 really seems to be coming together for AEW,
Finally,
Tony Khan, and Ring of Honor.
It seems to me like Tony maybe has some help, or maybe he's acquiesced to like allowing some help, because it seems a little less hectic.
It would definitely seem to be that way. So I don't think that this is a bad thing.
No.
I think this is a net positive moving forward. Even, I mean, they've got the Max streaming deal now, you know, and everything that's surrounding that. So I think that's all well and good. The show was terrible. They, at least they had a good send off with, Moxley and the Death Riders doing something.
Yeah.
Which made the show feel somewhat meaningful, even though for the last 5 years it just hasn't meant anything.
Yeah.
I mean, last year they did some Blue League matches.
Yeah.
On Rampage, but that was really it.
Yeah, that's true, because even like when they have tournaments and stuff, they generally keep that stuff off of Rampage. They'd maybe put like a women's tournament match on there.
Yeah, a lot of I don't want to use the term enhancement talent, because that's really not what that was. I think a lot of times those were just like tryout matches for some of these folks, and the ability and like, while that's cool, to get to be on TV for those things, a lot of AEW debuts happened on Rampage.
Not necessarily good ones.
Yeah, no, not at all. But I think it was a good avenue for a lot of that. But if we were gonna do that, why did we get rid of AEW Dark on YouTube?
Yeah, that exactly, and that's kind of how. Yes, that's probably the best way to put it, is that like they sort of like did this thing where like the low quality that AEW Dark was, and even those shows would get 50,000-60,000 views, and on YouTube that's not terrible in the grand scheme of television. That's terrible, but like 50,000 views on YouTube is not a terrible way to spend a half hour.
Yeah, no.
And
sometimes it wasn't a great way to spend a half hour.
No,
but rabble. I mean,
yeah, I'm just saying, they could have maintained that like sort of 30-minute YouTube show here and there for those enhancement talent matches, and like they're choking on talent right now, and I don't know why. Maybe nobody in the back wanted to work Rampage. Maybe it was again a self-fulfilling prophecy. Well, nobody cares about Rampage, so I don't want to be on Rampage, especially if you're an established talent. You know what I mean?
Yeah, much like WCW Thunder, which was doomed from the start because Hogan and the NWO and those guys didn't want to work on Thursdays, and and then in turn Goldberg didn't want to work on Thursdays, and then we get matches like Hugh Morris versus Alex Wright. It just as your main event, and Bischoff did an entire 2.5 hour podcast on Alex Wright last week.
No, but I bet Derek was stoked. Has he listened to it?
I'm sure that he has. Shout out to Derek too. He was birthday was this week.
Happy birthday, old man.
Yeah, bub. He's into his elder 30s.
Elder 30s. Well, I remember those days. Were long ago.
Very long ago. Very long ago. Seems like it, right? Goodness gracious.
It does.
Be 37 again. Know what I know now.
That big 4-0 hits you right in the face, and you're like, ow. Damn it.
Yeah, I look like Santa Claus right now with this fucking.
What happened there?
Oh, that's a CPAP burn.
Oh.
Just like rubs against my face.
Yeah.
Hashtag fat people problems. Yeah, man. So I don't think that that's a bad thing that show's gone. And like I said, AEW rounding out 2024 seems like an overall net positive
Yeah.
on what's going on. I feel
Much better shows at the end of the year
yeah,
compared to if you compare it to the beginning of the year, it's like night and day.
it's awesome. And I think that it's just going to continue to get better, right?
I hope so.
You
I mean,
know,
it's still not like amazingly, oh my god, but it's like it's so much better than it was. So hopefully they're like keep that hammer swinging this way.
yeah. So, and speaking of Tony Khan and all of his creative wisdom and
And his big
just
swinging hammer.
overarching genius, you know, that the internet would make you believe that he is. He was asked a question, at the post event media scrum, about WWE and AEW's pay per view being both in Orlando on Saturday night. His response was interesting, but it was very Tony Khan. He said it's great for the city of Orlando with two major pro wrestling events happening on the same night. There were thousands and thousands of fans at both shows. We had a capacity crowd here. It was so great. It was so great being here at UCF. This arena has been a tremendous host. And for us, the community, it was great to have such an amazing support from the fans. It shows how strong worldwide pro wrestling, particularly here in the United States, is to have one major American city with two promotions running head to head on the same night. To have two great crowds. I know our fans here were awesome, and it was a great show tonight. Thanks to the Orlando fans. They were tremendous.
Well, that's actually probably the best PR Tony Khan's ever done since the inception of AEW.
I read that, and
There was no dig in there anywhere.
All I could think of whenever I read that was
I kept waiting for you to say, but otherwise, also fuck you, Paul, or something like that, right?
As I'm reading this the first time, right, I can't help but think back to whenever, it was last year, Labor Day weekend, and he went on a 20-minute tirade on the financial call, or with the promotion call, whatever the fuck it was, about how they were the only show that weekend, and then all of a sudden they're the third show that weekend, and it's just not fair that they would do this to them, and just very mature answer from Tony Khan here today, or yesterday in the post media scrum. It feels like change is in the air.
It feels like maybe they're starting to figure it out, and that would be great. Or maybe there's somebody else, like I said earlier, maybe there's somebody else that's helping him see the light at the end of the tunnel, or the cheers and the ticket sales and the pay-per-view buys and all that. Like, because what they're doing is putting on a cohesive product that makes sense based on what they initially sold us as AEW. Is this is a sports-based promotion. Well, if it's sports-based, do more tournaments, which they have done two, I thought, very successful tournaments here in the last couple of months.
Yeah.
And the Continental, I feel like the Continental Classic this year really meant it, except for the end.
Hey, bud, I got news for you. The Continental Classic last year felt big and important too. You were just too goddamn stubborn to realize it.
Okay, well, they did a good job. They're doing a good job with this. And then what was the round robin tournament before that, I thought was very good too. So they're starting to figure out that they need to have a tournament going sort of in the undercard while the main overarching stories float through. And, I don't necessarily even think that tournament needs to be very important. It doesn't even, it could be for the Dynamite Diamond Ring. It could be for, whatever, a made up trophy, the winter summer classic, the summer solstice siesta. I don't know, but like it could be anything. It could be a trophy, like the greatest Royal Rumble trophy. Think about that. Remember that trophy that Braun Strowman won?
Oh my God.
And then it came with a belt, and he wore that belt like twice, and then nobody ever talked about it ever again. Remember when Shane McMahon was the greatest in the world?
Yeah, and then they had a really good storyline with The Miz. I remember.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, man. Don't do that. Like, don't put the gimmick over and then try to bury it in the same sentence. Like, it's just not fair.
I'm so good at that, though.
That's dirty. It's dirty.
Dirtiest player in the game.
Dirty. I don't know, man. 2025, promising year for AEW.
Let's hope they maintain this
momentum.
momentum.
I can feel it.
I hope so. I hope so, man. Look, all I want is for all wrestling to be good and for me to have things to do at like 8 or 9 p.m. 5 days a week. That's all I want.
Yeah.
That's great. I feel like that's good for everybody, especially me. It's good for my like mental well-being to be like, oh no, what am I going to do tonight? Oh wait, wrestling's on. Like that's always like, it's always there. And that's what I need to happen. So AEW needs to stop sucking so that there's at least 2 promotions doing this.
Well, that would be 3 because TNA is still pretty fucking good.
Yeah, it's on Access though. It's hard
you have a Fire Stick. Click on the live TV icon and fucking go right to it, bud.
Okay, you're right. All right, I'm sorry. You're right. I need to do that.
Like,
and because I can actually probably watch that like
on Thursday, like where it belongs.
Oh,
absolutely. But click the live TV button, okay, and scroll down about 6 clicks. You're on Access.
All right, fine. I know you're right. Forgot about that. I always forget about that. I never do that, but I always forget about that live TV button.
Yeah,
I always forget about that.
Sometimes I go in here and get my Judge Judy fix.
That's because that's what I think about. It's Judge Judy, and it's like, wow, they still put Jerry Springer on this shit. In 4x3. Jerry's been dead for a decade.
I don't think Jerry's not dead, is he? He's hosting fucking America's Got Talent.
Jerry Springer?
Yeah.
He's dead.
No.
I'm pretty sure.
No.
Yep. April 27th, 2023 was an American broadcaster. He's dead.
No.
Yep. He died in 2023, age 79. Okay.
So was he the host of America's Got Talent for a hot second?
Not anymore.
Well, no, but was he though?
I don't know. Hold on.
I need to know.
Personally.
Or did I manifest that in an
I think you manifested that. He competed in season 8 of The Masked Singer.
No.
Are you kidding me? The year before he died in 22.
Well, I think his death was probably unexpected. He was only in his 70s.
79, yeah.
I mean, rode hard, put away wet, I'm sure, plenty of times, but
Holy shit. But no, yeah, he's dead. Everybody's dead.
Oh, okay. Well. Hey, so let's switch gears here. As it were every year around this time, the WWE's done that thing where the Royal Rumble script leaks.
And
every year the internet gets all excited, like, oh, is this real? Is it? And every year it's like, no.
I feel like they do that on purpose now.
I think so.
I think it probably actually does come from WWE, but they're just doing it on purpose now because they think it's funny.
So, but at least it gives us something to talk about today.
Absolutely.
So, we're gonna go ahead. I've got both of them here, which is wildly easy.
Yeah, sure is.
I've got them both.
Did it come from somebody with an @WWE.com mailing address?
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like it's a plant. It's like in Mad Max when he's like, "That's bait." It's exactly what that is.
So the women's is interesting. I if this is how this plays out, I'm into it. Right. So 1 through 5. We've got Becky Lynch, Lyra Valkyria, Kairi Sane, Chelsea Green, and Raquel Rodriguez. Okay, the man's back. Man starts number 1. I'm into it, right?
There's no way.
Okay. Lyra, they started. Big moment for them, you know what I mean? I'm sure that'd be awesome for them. Then Kairi Sane comes in, Chelsea Green, the greatest women's United States champion of all time.
Longest reigning.
Yeah, and longest reigning, and most amazing and
undefeated.
Yeah, she did. That was such a fun fucking segment.
Wasn't that the best segment? That was the best part of SmackDown. The rest of SmackDown felt really phoned in, but like Chelsea Green's segment was like
We that was everything we were waiting for.
that. It really was. I'm like, this is so good. I loved this. That's my favorite kind of heel work. Chelsea Green is my favorite kind of heel.
Yeah, but we all love her, and
Yeah,
she just continues to
she continues to deliver. I feel like I'm being pandered to with this Chelsea Green storyline and all of that. They're pandering to me specifically as a wrestling fan. I don't know how they figured that out, but that's what I'm here for. And when people pander to me specifically, I can't help but acknowledge because exactly. See what I did there?
Oh, speaking of, listen, if WWE makes a goddamn championship belt for the tribal chief, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind.
I was wondering if you're gonna bring this up. I thought about it coming in because I looked at my belts hanging there, my like little toy belts, and I was like, oh, I forgot about Walt.
I'm gonna lose my mind. Like, please don't do that.
Please don't.
I am really pumped as a belt nerd though right now that the Winged Eagle is all over modern day television.
All over.
Even though they fucked up on the video package because they showed Triple H holding the big Eagle belt while they were given the history of the Winged Eagle belt. It's not the same thing.
No, it's not. They have they have the correct belt. They just threw the wrong picture in the montage.
Yeah. So Triple H never held the Winged Eagle, so that didn't work. He probably saw that and went, "You fucking morons."
Exactly. He watched that. Why didn't I watch this first? God damn it.
Oh, shit. And then they
put me in. As soon as that was over, he goes into that truck and goes, "Who put me in that video?"
Wrong fucking belt.
Yeah.
And then then right after that, they go to Stone Cold fucking throwing it and winning it. He carried that belt to the ring one time. And that was the next night on Monday Night Raw, and he was given the Big Eagle. That was actually made for the Giant, who was a whole thing. That's why it was so fucking big and long. Because it was made it was made for the Big Show.
Like that.
Because he was supposed to debut at the Royal Rumble, win the Royal Rumble, and then win the championship.
Why didn't that happen?
Something happened. Don't remember.
Probably they realized that like he was like 23 and stupid. Couldn't wrestle.
Well, he could wrestle. I mean, he was good when he was younger, doing fucking missile drop kicks off the top rope.
Oh, yeah. His missile drop kick was good. He had a standing one too.
Yeah.
His standing missile drop kick was terrifying because he got like, I see it. Yeah. But he got like this, and the man was, because remember the WCW had the short rings. So like he was him laying down was like the whole ring. It was like, so him missile drop kicking was just like an incredible visual and an incredible replay. But yeah, okay, I get it. Yeah. Big Show.
So anyway, we digress. 6 through 10: B-Fab, Piper Niven, Zoe Stark, Io Sky, and Julia.
Okay.
11 through 15. Yeah, I mean that's. I'm gonna say this is in meaning as respectful as possible. Like we're in the chooch zone here.
Yeah.
So number 11, Natalya, Zelina Vega, Bianca Belair, Asuka, Sonya Deville.
Asuka returning would be huge.
I believe that we are probably closer than we imagine. I think that she's definitely going to be back at the Royal Rumble.
I hope so.
Me too. Me too. And I hope she doesn't go with Damage Control. Just
leave her out of that. It'll be fine.
Yeah, because that's hurting. I'm not into that. Moving on, 16 through 20, Jordynne Grace, Shayna Baszler, Naomi, Mickey James and Dakota Kai. I would not be surprised to see Dakota or Mickey James in this Royal Rumble.
I don't think I would be either. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Jordynne Grace won or was like the second to last.
Well, I mean, she was in the Final Four last year, wasn't she?
She was, and I think this time, like, she's going to be the last two because she was
she's coming. Like, that's a foregone conclusion. Like, she's coming.
Yeah.
Like,
the question is whether she's coming to main roster or NXT.
But she's coming, like, soon-ish. Her deal's up in, like, March, isn't it?
I think it's up sooner than that. I think it's up the end of the year. She could legitimately be a Rumble debut.
Yeah, I mean, it could be like Naomi last year.
Yeah.
And, you know,
and remember, WWE and TNA have a pretty close working relationship. So there may not be a overlap.
That's a thought.
Like, well, you can't go to AEW, but with our working relationship with WWE, we actually waive that because they send their talent here. They let us bring our talent up to there. So it's like they understand there's this like symbiotic working relationship. And I think that's only really getting stronger with all these new deals that are signed. So I think that it would be beneficial for them if that's the case to just have it be, because how great of a position is that for her to debut in the Rumble because of how well she did in it last year.
Yeah. And then, I mean, she looked great when she was in NXT. She didn't, you know what I mean? Like, I think that we're definitely at a point where you're right. This could be her WWE debut. And I'm sure that they'll let us know if it is when she does make her entrance, which I believe she will make her entrance.
And if it is, let me fantasy book for one quick second, because I think this would be really cool. Like, have her win the Rumble, challenge at WrestleMania, but lose at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I feel like that is a great debut for her, because then they can always first women's superstar to debut, win the Royal Rumble, be in the main event of her first WrestleMania.
Yeah, they could get her over big time with that.
Yeah, she doesn't have to win a title. No. Like, okay, she's new to here.
I think it would be better if she didn't win the title.
Absolutely. Like, she comes up a little short, right, at WrestleMania, and then maybe a year or two down the line, if things keep progressing, you give her, you let her have a WrestleMania moment. Hell, fucking 10 years from there, you can even make the callbacks to her first WrestleMania ever. And, like, maybe it takes her 5 years. Maybe it takes her 10 years. Who knows? But, like, she's only 24, 25, something like that. She's, like, super young. Yeah. So even if they wait 10 years, it's like, oh, no, she's 34 years old in the prime of her life.
All right, moving on. We've got 21 through 25, which this doesn't make sense to me. Liv Morgan, Karma, Ivy Nile, Michin, and Charlotte Flair.
No, that doesn't make sense to bring Charlotte back. Unless Charlotte shows up on Monday.
It's definitely Charlotte's going to be back at the Royal Rumble, bro.
Yeah, you're right. Charlotte's going to be on Netflix on the January 6th.
You think?
Absolutely.
Because I know Becky Lynch is going to be there.
Yeah. I think they both will be.
Interesting.
And I think this is going to be a packed 3 hours.
Oh, the match card is fucking insane.
I don't think these matches are going to get any time. This is going to be a packed 3 hours.
So you think it's just all going to be, it's all a bunch of smoke and mirrors to get us to tune into Netflix?
So not necessarily.
This is a pay-per-view level. This is a WrestleMania night 1 level card.
Right. And they're trying to like stuff it in. WrestleMania night 1 still 4 hours. So, I mean, I haven't heard, is this only going to be 3 hours? So imagine a 4-hour show. That's actually a great analogy. This is going to be a 4-hour show crammed into 3 hours.
Let's see how they manage it. I bet you they do okay.
I think they will too. I think what they're going to end up doing, because it's on Netflix, is the commercials are going to be condensed. And I think that's what really makes...
Ooh, I'm glad you brought that up. I think we're getting ads, bub. Because listen,
Oh, we're getting ads. We're
Listen.
absolutely getting ads.
I mean, Christmas Day, I got the tippy top Netflix experience. Okay, I got the like $29.99 one that I don't know why, I just do, right? Like, I've been a member of Netflix that long, like that's just what they expect. I was watching a football game. I had commercials.
Yeah.
Like, I was watching the Steelers get their fucking asses kicked, and I had commercials. I didn't think we were going to get commercials on the old flicks of net.
Yeah. It's it's one of those things where it's like I don't like it, but also they felt more condensed. And I'm just gonna say, I knew that we were gonna get commercials. There's no paying your way out of it. I don't think. I think that's been the way Netflix was gonna go for a long time. I think Netflix is just gonna end up being cable, just differently. And so we're going to get commercials, but I do think in this first one, the commercials are going to be a little shorter than we're used to. Maybe because let's face it, Raw is like 10 minutes of Raw, 10 minutes of commercial, 20 minutes of Raw, 10 minutes of commercial. It's like you can watch Raw in a solid hour and a half if you have it like
I think it's
DVR'd.
like 1:43.
Yeah.
It ends up being because I have it DVR'd all the time.
Yeah,
and
it's
like,
not. It's exactly. It's not. It's almost. It's not quite half, but it's a lot of. It's pretty close to half commercials. And let's be fair, you can probably fast forward through some shit on the live part of the show too. Like,
guilty.
yeah, like you don't need to watch Raw brought to you by Snickers. You're not yourself when you're hungry. Like you can fast forward through that shit. Like you don't need to like be like, oh, what's going on backstage here with Otis and Chad Gable again? Who fucking cares? And you could just like
You defended that last week.
I know it's still fine. I'm just saying if you want to fast forward through it, it never means anything. It's just funny.
Oh wow. You're an Indian giver.
It's me.
That's what you are.
Indian burns. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, you probably fast forward through some shit that you're not that into, and you can get it done in hour and 15, probably. Some in 2019, you could get through it in probably 30 minutes.
Oof,
some bad shit.
That's whenever we were complaining that Raw was a 3-hour show.
We were like, there is a half hour worth of shit to watch here, but this goes for 3 goddamn hours.
God bless. Now we're bitching it's a 2-hour show. We got exactly what we wanted all those years. Now we're bitching because we got it.
We're bitching because we're like, no, why is it over? I wanted more. Give me more.
Feed me more.
I'm excited for SmackDown to go to 3 hours too.
Yeah.
Like I feel like
I'm excited for the roster shakeup that's going to come from this too.
But like that's a lot. It's a lot of TV to fill. But so I'm curious I'm hoping that like the consistency doesn't waver over all brand. Like does it sink if a rising tide rises all ships? Does a shrinking tide lower all ships? And I think it does. So I'm concerned about the quality, the overall quality taking a hit. And then it'll be like good show, bad show. Like I'm worried about that.
No way.
There's only so much wrestling equity.
But listen, we've done they've done a lot of good things in the last 2 months to fill some of those holes in the dam, so to speak. Like they've really been working on creating more mid-card stars. I want these guys to have time. They're doing a really good job with the tag team divisions now.
Yeah.
At least on SmackDown. the Street Profits and Garza, and Berto, and then you've got DIY doing their thing, and the Motor City Machine Guns are there. The tag division's fun on SmackDown right now.
Yeah.
And then the women's mid card's starting to get built up a little bit around some new titles. I think both shows need 3 hours to tell their stories properly.
I hope so. And I hope that here's the thing. I know out of the gate, it's going to be awesome. We're going to have 6 hours of awesome WWE every week, and then another 2 hours of NXT, but every week for at least until WrestleMania. Between now and WrestleMania, I will be curious to see if they can maintain the momentum. I think they're going to be. I'd be curious. To see if they
understand your trepidatious. I understand. You're concerned post WrestleMania season.
Uh-huh.
Okay, well, fortunately for us, that's the new season. That's when life starts over again, and they've got new stories to tell. They're going to have 6 hours to tell those stories, those new stories, and create new stories to get to the next WrestleMania so that they can start over and start telling new stories and more stories. And as long as we keep all these guys around that we've become invested in as wrestling fans, okay, we're going to be all right, because there's so many feuds that I myself would like. I want to see Seth Rollins and LA Knight for a championship. Yes, please. I would love to see Jey Uso as a world champion feuding with Damian Priest. I think that would be awesome.
That'd be great.
Okay. I would like to see Jimmy Uso as the United States champion. I think that would be great to have some stories there with him, build him up a little bit. Solo, maybe Solo finally gets a world title. Huh? Maybe it happens. I'd be into that. But there's a lot of meat on them bones, Bob.
I mean,
Apollo Crews means something right now.
Yeah,
Think about
weird.
That.
That's weird. Yeah, it's weird that. I mean, that's sort of a very recent development, but that's.
Think about that.
You're right. He did lose that Nigerian accent, though.
Thank God.
It was when he first came.
I mean, he was on TV with it, Bub. There's that. I mean, he was he was United States champion. There's that.
He was the Intercontinental.
Okay, that's right. That's right.
And then he was he a tag champ in NXT? Because they sent him to NXT for a little bit.
Yeah, no, him and Corbin never won the tag team titles.
Okay, that was Corbin and Breaker that did.
Oh yeah, well yeah, because him and Corbin went, but yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So, anyways, bud, we are off our rocker here. I got to get back to this list. I lost it.
All right.
I lost the women's list.
So who wins?
Charlotte Flair.
That might happen. I mean, if she's in it, she'll probably win it.
You go from she doesn't need to come back to the Royal Rumble. No, well, it makes sense if she wins it. Honestly,
I mean, if she's in it, she's gonna win it. Look, I'm just saying that she's Charlotte Flair, for God's sake. Like, come on, like she's Charlotte Flair.
She is the opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, are we saying that we're gonna put Charlotte Flair coming back from? I think I said this a few months ago. I don't know if you watched her rehabilitation. So, like, she destroyed both her knees. And like her rehabilitation was
on a move that she's done 4 million times.
Her rehabilitation was nothing short of inspiring. Like if you followed her on Instagram or whatever, regardless of what you feel about Charlotte Flair, the character, like just Ashley Fleer, the human, wonderfully inspiring. And I am a big Charlotte fan.
I just think that she's fucking. She has a passion to be the best at what she does, and she feels the need to live up to that Flair name. And I think that she's not going to let anything stand in her fucking way. And I don't think there's anything goddamn inspirational about that. I think it's fucking magical. if that's the type of human that she is, that she's willing to fucking put herself through hell to be able to go back to work to prove to everybody that she is the fucking greatest
Yeah.
at what she does.
Yeah. And I bet she's going to come back and we're going to get like, we're going
I
to
can
get
hear it now. Oh my God, Charlotte come back and into the entertainment. What about Nia? What about Liv? It's just not fair. It's just not. No, I'm just the internet, bro.
Oh, the internet, right?
Everybody.
I would say I love when
fucking,
Charlotte's dominant.
God, me too, bro.
Dominant, cocky Charlotte Flair
God, it's
is
the best.
one of the greatest. I mean,
I heard she's working on a dark character.
I mean, if it's cocky, but like also I'm going to cut your face open, like cool, whatever. I cut your face.
All right, so moving on, we've got the men's lineup. Actually, I lied. I want to, you know, whose name wasn't on that list, and I'm interested to see if it actually happens.
Who?
AJ Lee.
See, that'd be fun, but they've been saying this for like a while now, and
yeah, but just saying,
it's like at this point, they're like video games that everybody keeps waiting to be announced, like Metroid Prime 4 or like Silk Song, like either one of like games that like have been promised forever and ever, and it's like, oh well, maybe it's exactly what this is like.
Okay. Wow, that wasn't as
but
fun.
We're not getting AJ Lee. I don't think
fun of a conversation as I had originally anticipated that it would be.
We're not getting AJ Lee. We're just not.
Oh, okay. Well, if we do, you're going to apologize to me for taking the wind out of my sails on this fun conversation. Okay, because now I'm fucking butthurt. Like I thought that was going to be fun.
Do you need some balm?
And you just took my cotton candy right off my stick in front of me.
Do you need some balm?
No, I don't. I need you to show some fucking compassion. That's what I need. Okay, you ruined my topic.
Got the legs right out from my
bless America. All right, moving on. Men's. We've got 1 through 5. Randy Orton, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Andrade, and AJ Styles. Did I roll my R properly there? Or was it a little too aggressive? It might have been a little too aggressive.
Who'd you say first? Who was number 1?
Randy Orton.
Oh shit!
Him and KO starting. That'd be fun.
Yeah. No, that would be fun. I mean,
then Sami Zayn comes out and gets in the mix. Where's he go? Who's he side with? Does he stay out of it?
I don't think they're going to do that. It doesn't sound like something they're going to do.
And then Andrade comes out at number 4, and he's like, "Hey, fuck all 3 of you guys. I'm here to win. I'm trying to be the world champion." You know? And then you got AJ Styles coming in at number 5. He don't give a shit either. He can come out here. You don't want none. What? You don't want none. This is my mandatory yearly appearance. Because they don't got nothing for him. One of the best performers in the world hasn't been on television in like 14 weeks.
That is insane.
I don't understand how you do not have creative for AJ Styles. I'm sorry. I don't. I guess I understand from a youth movement perspective, but
go feed AJ to somebody. Feed him to Braun Breaker.
I don't want that either, though.
No, but still, that's better than keeping him off TV.
Maybe not.
Well, I don't know. Well, maybe that was the option.
Maybe that's why.
Yeah.
It makes sense now. All right, moving on. 6 through 10, we've got Dirty Dom, and then Ray, Trick Williams, Ludwig Kaiser, and Jacob Fatu.
I love you, Solo. I mean, okay. I mean, fine with all that.
Okay. All right. Good. Okay, moving on. 11 through 15, we've got Braun Strowman at 11. The Miz comes in at 12. Kofi comes in at 13. Karrion Kross at 14. And John Cena at 15.
John Cena. That'll be cool. I do think we get John Cena somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. He declared.
Oh, that's right. He did.
Yeah. He declared.
I think that's cool. Yeah, I mean, we're getting John Cena, so
Well, we're getting the John Cena retirement tour coming to a city near you. Hey, he's doing 36 dates in this final year. That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I think
sure
that's
I'm
probably
sure those are all TV dates.
Yeah, for sure. I think that might be more days than Roman's got in 24.
Probably, honestly. I would bet Roman did. There's 52 weeks in a year, 25. I bet Roman did 26 dates.
I was going to say 30, but that we're in the same.
I would bet Roman did 26 dates. He's a kind of a every other week kind of guy.
Well, the story goes on without him.
Yeah. Or 4 on, 4 off. Maybe that's how whatever it ends up being.
And then he took a fucking, you might be right, because he took a big break after Mania.
Yeah.
26 might be the number.
I think 26. I think he did half. I think he worked one day every 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's probably pretty accurate.
Not necessarily like in that order.
Yeah. That's an average.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. 16 through 20, we got Braun Breaker, Chad Gable, Sheamus, Logan Paul, and Finn Balor.
Balor thrown out after 5 seconds.
Oh, my God. Here you go. What's he going to be, the fastest elimination in the history of the Royal Rumble, surpassing Bushwhacker Butch?
No. He's going to be solidly in that 5 to 10 second range. He's going to get chucked out via his own momentum.
Beep. 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 Beep.
Those of you listening at home, that's Tom's
fandom of Finn Balor just flatlining,
just dying,
just like
death of the Finn Balor fandom.
Lost you, bro. Keep it. You keep that energy though, because I can't wait for my apology.
Great. Let's see what happens, but it might be a quick
21 through 25. L.A. Knight. Bro.
Sure.
Come on, man. What?
Yeah.
Fuck, bro.
I was doing this. I was doing the.
Yeah, but I set it up for you. That should have been like taking candy from a baby. Should have been like dipping the Oreo in the milk.
I'm sorry.
God bless him, man. Shit. What? No.
Yeah.
It's over. It's over. You ruined it. You ruined it.
You ruined it.
So 21 LA Knight, 22 Shinsuke, 23 Carmelo Hayes, 24 Jey Uso, 25 Santos Escobar.
Dos Escobar. Haven't seen that motherfucker in a while. Is he hurt?
I don't think so.
Well, he hasn't been wrestling.
Maybe they didn't have creative for him either.
He's been on TV just like at the side of the ring going.
I don't know.
That's it.
I'd like to see him as United States champion.
Yeah. I'd like to see him wrestle.
Escobar C.
Yep.
That's what he does to LA Knight. Escobar C. LA Knight. Yeah. God. Like what? You're just like a fun sucker today. Like just a God, you're like a Mercedes Moné promo.
Ooh.
God.
That was low. I just felt that in
just taking all the air out of everything. 26 through 30. Drew McIntyre, Jimmy Uso, Damian Priest, Solo Sikoa, number 30 Roman Reigns.
Okay. I like Roman at 30.
And then all this kerfluffle happens. We get down to the final four. And then all of a sudden, if you smell what the Rock is cooking,
And
And then here comes The Rock, dressed, ready to get into the Royal Rumble. He climbs in. Hey, I'm number 31 because I'm on the board. I'm the boss. I'm the final boss. And then John Cena throws The Rock out. John Cena wins the Royal Rumble.
I wouldn't hate that. That's not going to happen, but I wouldn't hate that. That'd be fun. I mean, that finish is fun. I don't know about the numbers. What?
The finish is fun. The finish is fun.
Although I think John Cena comes out 29 and The Rock comes out 30, and they just keep it safe.
Got to come out 31. Build the anticipation. John Cena, Solo, Roman Reigns, and I mean CM Punk wasn't even on this roster, which is fucking wild to me too. By the way,
Yeah, no, he's gonna be in the Rumble.
He's got to be in there. I think he's in there before fucking Chad Gable.
Yeah.
I think he's in there before The Miz.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's got to be some chooches to get tossed, but like, not that, again, respectfully as I possibly can. Like, some of you guys are in the chooch range. I mean, you're there to get a pop, and that's about it. My question is, do you think heel Kofi will do the Royal Rumble gimmick?
I think he'll start it and then put his feet down and just be like, wave the crowd off. I don't know.
Bro, they still got a lot of heat.
I mean, he's going to get booed when he shows up. Him and Xavier.
They still got a lot of heat.
Boo!
It's lovely. It's lovely.
Boo!
I don't know, man. Royal Rumble is going to be fun. One of my favorite events of the year. Probably my favorite event. I know Derek's an Elimination Chamber. No, you're the Elimination Chamber guy, and Derek's the Money in the Bank guy.
Yeah.
The Royal Rumble to me is just pure. It's so much fun.
It's better than the rest of them. So much fun.
I'm a little disappointed though, because like we're not going to get to watch it together.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to be there, but that's neither here nor there.
I'm going to be in Seattle cheering you on in some bar somewhere.
I'm so excited. Friend of the show, Pat Martin, and I are planning it out. We're going to get a little Airbnb, maybe take the wives that weekend and let them go run amok in Indy while we're at the Royal Rumble.
That sounds amazing. Truthfully.
So
we'll see
how it plays out. Decent tickets are still pretty cheap too.
Yeah, it's not as crazy as it's actually probably cheaper to go to see it at Indy than to see a pay-per-view here in Pittsburgh.
I think because it's a giant football stadium. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a big venue, but like,
yeah, you're gonna be far away.
Like the top tier of Lucas Oil, pretty close to the selling for like $155.
Yeah.
And I saw like the seat view like on the football field, and like the rings, like it's pretty good. Like some of those up there are pretty great views actually. So
I mean, I think up there, particularly if you bring in like some kind of binoculars or something to like you're probably getting the best view. Like that bird's eye view, which is like really cool.
So looking forward to making that happen. We're in preliminary stages of planning that trip, only because I waited a little bit, to see what ticket prices we're gonna do, and they've remained pretty true. So
that's a dome, right?
Yeah, big ass building too. I've never been, but I've drove past it. It's a big ass building. It's a big fucking place.
I mean, it's a football stadium with a dome, so
I think they're like expecting like 70,000 at the Royal Rumble or some shit like that.
I mean, that's great, especially if you can get it in a venue that big in January. Like that's just where you should do it.
Yeah, so it should be a good time. Can't wait. If we make it happen, maybe I'll vlog it. Because I'm gonna want to do that anyway. So may as well just fucking make it a thing. But I don't know, man. Do you feel like we've left any stones unturned this week?
CM Punk ran out in a towel, and the internet was mad.
Hilarious. I cannot believe the internet was mad about it.
I can't either. Like that's wrestling.
I had a buddy
at the house show. Good lord.
Yeah, I had a buddy at the Pittsburgh house show.
House show.
I had a buddy at the Pittsburgh house show. He sent me a picture. He was like, "Oh, yeah, are you here?" And I said, "Nah, man. First day back to work, whatever." He's like, "Oh, bummer." I said, "Well, just let me know if CM Punk comes out in a towel." Because I could see the cage hanging above the ring, and they generally run the same routine. He was like, after an hour later, so he sent me a text. He's like, "No towel, but he did come out," and then whooped everybody's ass.
Mm-hmm.
So it was the same gimmick, just without the towel.
Just without the towel.
Turn it up for MSG, the legendary MSG after Christmas house show.
Yeah, that's what you do.
So
I was stunned also that the internet was mad about it. I'm like, what? Have you guys never been to holiday? Like, are you just not wrestling fans around the holidays? Because this is the kind of nonsense that this is. This has always been this way.
Hilarious.
Kudos to CM Punk for doing it.
Yeah, right. I mean, we're talking about locker room cancer Phil here, and just the worst human being ever, only ever concerned with putting himself ever.
Running out in a towel.
It's just coming out in a towel and a shower cap in the middle of a match, getting involved in a steel cage that's not even on television. Crazy.
Hilarious. And if you're there live, makes your night.
I'm going to be really interested to see what the long term on Phil is. I mean, it's going to be a short run. No. I'm talking like his personal the personal narrative about Phil.
Yeah, I mean, I think either one of two things is going to happen. Either we're going to get him he's just going to not care and just going to be like that's it, and be a little 3-year run. It'll be all fun and love and hugs, and that'll be that. Or something will happen and everybody will be upset.
I mean, we live in a world where everybody's upset. But do you know what doesn't upset me, Tom?
Know what?
Picking match of the week. You're muted.
Yeah, I know. Okay. All right. So it was Sami Zayn versus Carmelo Hayes, because
that was such a great match.
It had no build except they had a little fight in the back before they walked out and just did the thing, which I'm fine with.
You're a hypocrite.
No, it's like
you're a goddamn hypocrite.
Not a cold
match to you.
It's a lukewarm match.
Oh, here we go. Here comes the spin.
The lukewarm match. It also I don't know. It was really good. Because it was one of those things where it's you don't know, because either of those guys could win, and it doesn't. Honestly, I don't remember who won. Because it didn't matter. But fun match, probably the best match on SmackDown.
Nope.
Might have been one of the only matches on SmackDown.
Also,
I guess they opened. I guess they opened with the tag champs, but it was a trios thing that nobody gets over. Anyway, not important. But yeah, no, that was the best match on SmackDown, and Raw was weird this week. Very short. Everything felt tight and sort of recappy because we're in that WWE's phoning it in type of thing. Nothing on Dynamite seemed to really catch my eye, but it was fine. So yeah, Walt.
My match of the week was the Street Profits versus Garza and Humberto. It was a good tag team match, bub. Real solid.
Those guys are good.
Yeah, you're a hater
of Humberto, and
you're a hater. I could hear it. These guys are good.
No, I'm not. I'm not being a hater. I think
I'm a fucking
So-
hater.
I wish Montez Ford was a bigger deal than he is.
He is a big deal. He looks great. Looks like $1 million.
Sure he does.
Dolphins looks like $1 million right now too.
Sure does.
BFAB
I
looks
hope-
like $1 million right now. They look like $1 million right now.
I hope they're both on the upswing right now.
I
But
hope they're both on the juice. Just
yeah, that'd be good too. But anyway, no, I hope they have a great 2025. It was a good match. You're right.
I know I am. That's why I picked it. Bucko.
Bucko.
Anywho, check us out over on Twitter and Instagram at @1_FallWC. That's ONE. If you're still here, go ahead. Maybe hit that thumbs up button. Maybe even consider subscribing. We would greatly appreciate it. And with all that being said, thanks for hanging out. It's all love. We'll catch you next week. One Fall WrestleCast. Ah.